Euro. I'm gonna have to blow my nose real quick here. Okay. 1 second here. I'm gonna run and blow my nose and come right back, and then we'll get going here. Shuffle some windows around too. Okay, BRB. So I went ahead and took my hoodie off because I'm gonna get warm. Let's get that scrolled up. Is this out of date? Not paused. Oh, because I'm moving. There it goes. It's just behind by a little bit. Okay, let's check for sound in OBS. Looks like got sound in OBS. We are started on those. The other chat. This one. All right, good morning. Hello and welcome. For anybody that might be new, my name's Tim. Go by FoamyGuy on GitHub and Discord. Typically work on CircuitPython related stuff, which is what we're doing today as well. If you are new and don't know what that is, if you haven't caught any of these streams before, or you're watching this in a video in the future and you don't know what I'm talking about, CircuitPython, the main website for it is here, circuitpython.org. This is basically a version of Python that can run on tiny computers called microcontrollers, such as, for instance, the one that is on this very fuzzy device right here. Let's see if we can maybe unfuzzy that as well. Put that there. And fuzziness factor to less. Sort of. Some ways. Okay, middle range there. Okay, so this microcontroller device is underneath the shield in this case, this little metal piece here. Underneath there is a computer, basically a tiny computer inside there that can run Python code. There's a USB port on it, USB-C on this one. We plug it into the computer with a USB cable. It will show up like a thumb drive. So let me go ahead and plug it in fact. My computer will... Everything is default, which I have no idea what state this device is in, so maybe I'm Yeah, it looks like, okay, so yeah, it's popped up there and went away, but if you had a keen eye, you would have seen it, and right here we've got CircuitPy drive. This device is running CircuitPython, which means when we plug it in with the USB cable like this, we get a thumb drive called CircuitPy like this. On there is a file called CodePy, and then when we edit that file and save it, the microcontroller that's inside that device will actually execute the code that's inside this CodePy. There's a Python interpreter inside that tiny computer that will read and execute that code. So that's kind of the super duper high level version. Today, this device that I have here is a Matrix Portal S3, which you can find over on the downloads page, where all the 460 devices that support CircuitPython are at. Again, this one is the Matrix Portal S3 right here, which is ESP32 S3 device, and then it has this plug right here, which has a name, I'm sure, Hub, maybe I've seen, Hub 75, that plugs into RGB matrices like this one that you see here. Today's project is a fan sign for the Worlds for League of Legends, which is happening tonight or tomorrow morning, or depending on where you're at in the world. It's happening soon. And we want it to scroll across here. So it's kind of a graphics project, but we'll do some work with preparing the graphics, and then I think what I'll use is display IO layout. There should be never committed it actually. At one point in time I made a linear layout. I think we can maybe use grid. That is weird. I could have swore that I did make linear layout actually. Maybe I just never committed it, huh? We want to worry about that. Where else have I used? My hesitation with grid should theoretically work. We can just make a, X by 1 grid, which is basically the same as a list or a linear layout, which is what I'm imagining. And that should theoretically work fine. It's got a bunch of functionality we don't need since we're only going to use the one row. The only thing that I'm a little bit hesitate about on this one is I don't know if it's, I don't think I've ever used it to go bigger than the screen, right? We're gonna be trying to have a thing that's like wider than the screen. I understand my camera is actually like the perfect size, so I can't really emphasize this, but our view is gonna be bigger, 4 or 5 times the width of the screen, and then we're gonna just scroll that giant view across the screen, so only one part of it will be visible at a time. And I've never used grid layout like that, I guess. I wonder if it's worth trying to dig up linear layout or not. Linear layout. Okay, I didn't finish it, is the true answer. This is halfway taken from a different library. This should work. I think we'll use this. The doc string is actually wrong. It says it's consuming JSON. This is, it's not actually doing this part. This was the library this came from did this, which I still think is a nice way to write your layout code. Once we have devices that can store enough file space and enough RAM, it's kind of an extra overhead in RAM to have that just hanging out in JSON also. I think it makes a nice way to build your layouts, but that's for a different day. Today we just want the linear action of this, which appears to be there in the code. Docstring is talking about some extra stuff that it doesn't really do. To quickly select currently edited element in another view, press Alt-Shift-1. I don't know what that means. Quickly select the currently edited element. Oh, I think I get it. Oh my, okay, that was very flashy. Okay, so if we wanted to select this code file inside this project listing, we could use that. So honestly, I already forgot the hotkey, so not gonna be able to. I wish this one be in a better place when you did open. Take this window, we don't need circuit right now. How messed up are we going to be if I merge main to this? How's it going, Johnny? Good morning. Good afternoon for you, I think, if I recall. I've done this several times before. Sorry, I always do that. I'm also going to change up the music real fast here. Okay. Well, I think the restream... preview... The restream preview is really far behind. Maybe it's not playing when it doesn't have focus. Currently documenting Arduino library I've been working on. Also doing code cleanup. Nice. Not one of the most glamorous tasks, but one of the most important, probably, for sure. Okay, let's see. Merged main. Yeah, that actually went pretty fine. That's cool. Okay, so then I'll take a copy of this, which is the modified library that has this linear layout in it. Drop that on our device, inside lib. Priority 1, no. Okay, paste it. Wow, that's really flashy. Use this for a second just to show where my mind's at on this, what the idea is. Actually, This logo partially set up the other day. Can we use the SVG one, or do we need to? Oh, I didn't put it here. I put it over here. Can we paste this into here? Can. Nice. Okay, so here's the plan. We want T1 logo. We want text. It's not exactly the place where I wanted the text, but that's fine. We'll worry about the font and stuff later, but I probably want a different font than that. And then we basically are duplicating this a bunch, well, not a bunch, but 5 times. And also everything's going to be white, not black, because can I not multi-select? Just not control. Interesting. So we were going to have one big long, in our case, linear layout, hopefully, which is going to have image, text label, image label, image label, image label, image label. All of those are in the linear layout, and then we're just going to scroll the X value of this linear layout to make it scroll across the screen. I don't know if I spelled carrier right, if it's IE or EI. This is a constant problem in my life with IE and EI, though. I don't know if Gumayushi is right either. We'll make sure. We'll check the spelling on those later. So that's the plan, is to line all these up like this. They'll be white, like we'll invert the color as well, so the logo and the text will be white, the background will be black, because of course we're on the RGB matrix where the pixels are off and they look black, so and then that will scroll across. So it should be relatively easy as far as projects go, but we'll see once we get into it. What is inside? Well, CircuitPy is this thing, which is testing something. I don't know. What is this for? Okay, this was testing a change in the core draw line. I don't know. What were we doing? Scroll? Interestingly, I mean, scroll, I guess, is... I mean, actually, that's pretty helpful. Truth be told, right? Yeah, I feel like we owe a hug report to past Tim here, because this is basically like... I mean, this is the code we need, right, for scrolling. There will be a little bit maybe that changes. We don't need some of the other stuff. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy paste this. I'm just going to, call this scroll test. I don't know why I did a capital T. It's going to bother me now that it's capital, though. I'm going to go fix that. And then we'll just work in CircuitPy. Another copy of this, and we'll just build up our stuff different. So we have main group, we have matrix, root group equals main group, bitmap. So here's where we're going to get different. So this is making a bitmap. That's the width of the display, the height of the display, and 3 colors. We are not going to be doing that. our palette, we are going to have a palette. Our palette is going to be, I'll call it, three. We'll keep it on 3 colors: white, black, and red. We'll see. I don't know for sure if we're gonna use red. Maybe though. I do think we want probably white as 0, because I think 0 will be the default for the bitmap when we load it up. Although I'm not positive of that. We may have to flop these later on. We'll see. Okay, we're not going to draw a line. We are going to have tile grids. I may as well keep this. It's going to have a different bitmap, but I don't think we need all of this. I mean, I suppose we could keep it for a second to see if any of this math becomes helpful, but why specify the colors instead of using bitmap palette shader? I mean, truth be told, I'm not committed to this right now. Like, it's here and I think I'll use it, but I'm also not 100% positive that I'll use it. So, truth be told, I'd say I just haven't gotten to the point where I'm actually coding it. Mostly I'm deleting stuff from the old file and deciding to keep this instead of delete it. But we may delete it later. And then if we end up doing this, why do it this way? I don't know. Honestly, I don't really have a well thought out reason for it. We could put it in the bitmap and just load it up with its own palette. We'll need a palette for the, well, that's not true. I was gonna say we'll need a palette for the label, but that's not true. The label keeps its own palette internally. It'll default to white. Yeah, I don't know. We may not use it. We'll see. See how it goes. If we use a palette, maybe we can swap between red and white at certain points. That might be kind of interesting. Okay, we're not gonna do this bitmap. Tile grid 1, yeah, we're not gonna have any of this. Comment this, we may swing back around to it. We're not drawing lines. We don't really need that. Size, yeah, let's keep that. We'll comment it, but let's keep it. And then it's calling scroll main group. Okay, so if the rest of this code works, if we just load up main group with everything we want, then it should just scroll for us right now. Pretty sweet. Again, we owe a pretty big hug report to past Tim here. Now really think about the fact that this was partially written on here. I think the bitmap palette will give you a lot of colors to choose from. So the other thing is I'm not intending to use a lot of colors. White, red, and black are probably the only colors that we're interested in. The base logo is red typically. So it might be cool to do red. Although, of course, here it's like inverted, and so it's white instead of red. And then like white and black and red are kind of the only colors that represent them typically. So we probably aren't going to venture too far out. One thing we will have, though, I do want shades, I guess. One thing is we will end up using the bitmaps palette, actually, because we'll want shades of white. We won't want just solid white and solid black. We'll want in-betweens so that the edges can look better. I don't know the right term for it, but so the edges can look good instead of jagged. Anti-aliasing, I don't know if that's related or the right term or whatever, but we want some of the, so yeah, we will be using a different palette. I'll comment this in case if we come up with a different reason for it, but that'll make switching between red and white a lot more tricky, actually. So if we wanted to do the switching between red and white, if that's a serious ambition, then probably what we would want to do is create 2 copies of the bitmap, one that's red and one that's white. Yeah. Maybe 2 copies of the palette and just switch the palette. I don't know if can you change the palette wholesale? I think you can. I think I added that to TileGrid actually at one point when I was working on buttons. No, wait, that's not the palette though. That was the bitmap. Yeah, I don't know if you can change the palette. That might be kind of cool. Okay, let's get more into coding instead of thinking. Sorry. Missed the beginning. Animation. Want to keep the colors limited. Thumb on 12 panels. Glitching colors and lines is an issue with so much data. Yeah, we're sticking to the one panel here, I think. I've got a couple more, but I haven't ever actually ventured into the multi-panel. I should hook up the second one at some point. I'm gonna dip my toes, but for now we're sticking with the one. I think, do we want to just use on-disk bitmaps, or do we want to try to use something different? I mean, I think on-disk bitmap seems fine to me, right? I don't see any reason to do anything different than that. We don't really need to keep the bitmap pixel data in memory. So right now, okay, yeah, this is set to the height of 28, which should be, that's 4 pixels less than the height of the entire display, which gives us 2 pixels on either side of margin, which I think sounds pretty good. We'll see if maybe later we end up wanting to tick it up to 1 bigger, but I don't think I want it to go all the way to the edge. We want to get this to white somehow. What's the easiest way to change this to white, but also keep the edges with their like shades or whatever, right? First thing is we're not be able to see very well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a background that's black. This will not end up being in the final image. If I just hue saturation, can I get it to white by doing like grayish? Oh, duh. You know what the answer is? Invert, right? There's an invert, buddy. That's right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now let's go indexed, color mode, image mode, indexed. We don't want this. We're going to go back to this. Didn't start seeing artifacts until I went above 4. Okay. Really pushing it with 12. Yeah, I would guess 12. I'm still amazed that you got 12 going. This did cut us down to 2, though. Why did that happen? Undo that. Why did that happen? Is it somehow still an SVG and that makes it weird? I mean, it can't be an SVG, right? It's got pixels and edges now, and maximum number of colors 255. What happened to the corners? Still 2. This feels bugged, right? It feels like that thing's bugged. Because I had it set to 2 before, right? Feels like this didn't take effect somehow. I need to enter? I don't know, this feels bugged, right? Go PNG for now. Compression. Let's do no compression for right now. Okay. We're just going to close this. We're just going to discard all the way out. We're going to reopen it with this one. I mean, unless we're getting tricked and those aren't there. Oh, you know, well, but they're partially, what is this thing? I don't even know. They're partially transparent. What is this? I don't think I've ever seen this before. No, it's just not working. So I think our problem is that those pixels are, they're not they're transparent white. They're not like off-white grayish, which is really what I want them to be, is off-white grayish. So I guess actually the black might actually be part of it in the end. I think we're gonna go make a layer black. Why is white in this list but not black? That's weird. I mean, foreground and background are, but then it depends on the order they're in there. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Maybe it was on black. I mean, I chose black last time. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna merge down. Then we're gonna do mode text. Okay, much better. Yeah, that was our problem with transparencies. Okay. Now we can save this, export again. Let's do bitmap this time. BMP. Yep. Well, correctly, I just leave these alone. This one doesn't even open. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, thanks. N99. Invert to monochrome, then invert. Invert won't do anti-aliasing to my knowledge, only inverts per colors, doesn't invert with transparents. It seemed like the transparents did work, although they were, like the color was solid white, you know, all Fs, and then with transparency, where what I really was after was like a grayish or an off-white, you know, like not quite all Fs. And merging with the, I mean, you probably saw, but merging with the black ended up being the way to get it to do that. It could have worked doing monochrome. I did not try that. That might have been, or grayscale actually, maybe could have been a good way to try it as well, but I think we're there. This is how much? 2.7 KB, not too bad. We're gonna take a copy of that and drop it on CircuitPy. We're gonna load up an on-disk bitmap. Can we do that from memory? Let's see. I think I should be able to do that from memory, right? ODB. Let's go. Actually, let's call this logo. ODB is an on-disk bitmap. Okay, I don't even get. Oh, we don't even get IntelliSense. Oh, you know why though? It's because the thing is not imported. Actually, right? So display. Okay, we probably do get IntelliSense. It needs a file name. Might be it, actually. It's actually pretty easy, isn't it? It used to be a bit more, huh? The file name is T1 logo white. And then, yeah, I don't think it needs anything else. Then we do need our tile grid, which I created a tile grid here. Yeah, let's do that. Can we, one thing, which I'm pretty sure I've tested this before and I just don't remember the answer, which is, can I reuse the on-disk bitmap with multiple tile grids? I hope that we can, because I would like to instantiate multiple tile grids, but only one on-disk bitmap, because I want 5 copies of the logo, but I don't want 5 on-disk bitmaps. Pixel shader, that's gonna be, well, it's logo dot this, I think. And now we have a tile grid, so let's add that to our main group dot append the logo tile grid. That should be enough to see it. Certainly does not look like it's working though. Okay, well, we hard crashed, so. Let's go reset Aroni here. Where's reset? There it is. I just get tricked by the 3 buttons on this one. Oh, nice. I just get tricked by the 3 buttons on this one. I always think that it's, oh, you know what? We're not offset. I left room for 2 pixels, but then I didn't actually put 2 pixels. Yeah, that looks pretty sick though. I do like that. Okay, let's say barcode's gone because it reset. So I'm just gonna, I mean, we could get fancy with it to like center it with something. I don't know. I'm just gonna go logo tg.y equals 2 though, right? We know it's hard coded. We know we have room for 2. Nice, there we go. Okay, that's in the middle now. One thing I would like maybe is a little bit more definition right in that line there. It's hard to see where my mouse is at. Right in there, in between the crossbar of the T, like right in here. You can see it, you know, it's there. It looks a little bit more apparent to the naked eye than through the camera. But I would like it to be more defined. So I think we're actually going to cut a row here. Drop in some black. Let's just go pencil. Black action right there. 1 by 1. Oh, that's a bit big, isn't it? My goodness. Okay, 1. Okay. Just going to go something. Or do we want to grab this color, maybe? Let's try it with this color. Let me try this. Let me get this. That. It's not quite full. It's not quite full black. It's like the color of the edge there. You know, I think actually we want the same thing here, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Okay, save this, export. Yeah. Thing is, this is kind of in a random spot. Ever tried that? I know you can reuse the shader on multiple images, which comes out with really neat effects using the shader from bitmap 1 to bitmap 2. Makes it look artistic. Yeah, I could see. Probably get crazy depending on the ones. Where's the bitmap? Don't bite my leg, buddy. There it is. I don't know why the preview doesn't work. I'm going to paste it into here. Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. I like that. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay. So one thing is either the text is going to be way smaller than the logo, or the names are not going to fit on the display all at once. I would like it. I mean, does that matter? It's scrolling. You can still read it. Like, your brain still reads it. I don't know. Let's start playing with the size and see how it goes. So I want to now, so right now we have main group and we have our logo in it and we're good. We want to put something to the right of the logo, which is where that linear layout really would come in handy. So let us go and make one of those. Was there an example in this? No. It's not up here. No. Only in the change. Okay, so I think it works pretty similar though. We just need to initialize it. It defaults to vertical, so we're gonna need to set it to horizontal. After it's initialized, we just add stuff with add content. One problem is that linear layout itself does not have width. You know what we should do is take the code from here, group size, because yeah, this is returning the height and width of the group. If we had a width property, actually doesn't widget, I think widget does. Does it work the same? Widget have a width? Because this extends widget, which extends group. Let's resize width. Bounding box. Header only. I don't think that width is gonna work. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. From Adafruit display IO layout import. Actually, we want dot layouts import linear layout. It's not really true either. We want linear layout. I think I want to do it this way. I like this way. I kind of prefer this way, although we did display IO opposite, but grid. So instead of adding the tile grid to the main group, we're gonna go linear layout equals new linear layout, which gets what? XY, width, height. Wait, what? Why do we need to pass? Size? Why do we need to pass width and height? What are we supposed to pass for those? Doesn't look like it matters, honestly. Yeah, this seems only halfway done a little bit, truthfully. Excuse me. Yeah, doesn't look like those get used. Let's just say 0, 0, 10, 10. And then we do want the horizontal. That's annoying. It's on, oh, okay. It's on linear layout, so we go linear layout like this. There we go, okay. Yeah, that's not actually annoying. Jump the gun there a bit. Okay, linear layout. I think all that gets, I think that's fine. I think it gets ignored, we'll see. Now we're gonna go linear layout.add content, the logo. Let's just see what that does for us. It crashed, actually. That's not good. It might have hard faulted. Did it hard fault because of my code, though? The same thing that happened a few minutes ago, honestly. And I feel like I kind of recall this being a thing that was maybe addressed recently. We're on Alpha 1, which there's a lot newer at this point. So let's not chase ghosts. Let's start by just something a bit newer here. We could go alpha 5 or we could go 828. Let's go alpha 5. I'm usually an alpha. Double tap reset. What is super? 1 second. Let me get back to the code. It is calling the parent class. But I'll try to point you around a little bit more in a second on what that means. Why is there a favicon? Scrolling a widget. Didn't even know what's possible. Well, I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves too far yet. We don't know that it's going to work. We'll see. I mean, we're going to make it work one way or another. Let's see. Okay, so inside of here, when it's calling super like this means it's calling to the parent class. So linear layout, class linear layout extends widget. When this is calling super right here, it means that it's calling into widget. And in fact, it's calling super dunder init, which means it's calling widget dunder init. So basically, when you initialize a linear layout, the first thing it does is it actually initializes its parent, the widget. I will be right back. We are at the time of year where over the course of like an hour and a half during the mid-morning, the sun moves like to 4 different places that blind me, essentially, and I have to keep moving this thing to block him a bit. Okay, here we go. Need to reload here. Okay, 900 alpha 5, that's better. Connected. I'm guessing we might not be on TTY. Maybe. Unexpected keyword argument max size. Right, that's because groups don't have max size anymore for a long time now, so that'll give you a slight reference on when this code was actually written. That was meaning max size as in the number of children that you're allowed to add to the group, which used to be limited and is not anymore. It's still crashing though, because it's not actually showing on the screen. Oh, okay, it's not crashing, but I don't see anything on the screen. Let's undo the scrolling. If the width doesn't work, then the scrolling wouldn't work and might make it so it's just, yeah, see, I think it blinked. Let's go no scrolling. Let's just not do this. Oh, no, okay. The problem is I added logo to linear layout, but then did not add linear layout to main group, which means we're not showing anything. We're showing main group, but main group doesn't have anything inside of it, so looks like a whole lot of nothing, because it is a whole lot of nothing. Actually, it's only a little bit of nothing. It's nothing nonetheless, though. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Is that slower? It's blinking back also. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna try something different too. I'm gonna stop this for a second. I'm gonna try, what if we don't use main group? What if instead we put our stuff into linear layout and then we don't do main group, and instead we root group the linear layout, because it's also a group, right? It extends widget, widget extends group. Therefore, we can actually just do this. And scroll linear layout instead of main group. Well, maybe we can. I don't know if it's going to work. Yeah. There we go. I think though something is weird with the width that's not actually doing, it's not actually handling the width probably as much as it should. It is slower. I will say it is slower. Okay, we can still get plenty fast though, because that's probably faster than I want it to be, so. Okay, that's probably good for right now. Okay, so we'll keep trying like this. We'll see if we end up needing to get a main group back in the mix, but I'm thinking maybe we can just keep adding here, and then it will. Everything might just work if we luck out enough, then it might just work out without any further messing about. Here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna make a label next. We're gonna make a faker label, which we're gonna get a from could use a loop for this. I feel like we should probably use a loop for this. I did it backward. I think it's EI. I think it's EI. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do actually. We have our list of players. We're gonna go for player in players. Go loop action. We're gonna hope that our on disk bitmap is gonna work how we want. We are gonna loop. We're gonna create the tile grid. We're gonna put that in the linear layout. Then we're gonna create a label. Which needs a font. I think that's camera effect. Yeah, it's a camera. Doesn't get jumpy to the negative eye. I mean, like, eventually it will probably garbage collect and it will hitch. But the actual, I think I know what you're talking about, where it was like kind of on the far, yeah, like, yeah, the way it's kind of stuttery there. That's the camera. It's smooth to the naked eye. My eye. Cur label. We need text. Text equals player. And then color, I think defaults to white, but we'll set it to white. What else? We want it to be pretty big. I'm gonna try 4. Cur label dot anchor point. I don't know if we might not want to set the anchor point. I kind of prefer using it, but we might want to just use Y like we did the. I don't know how many it's going to be, so I guess let's just say 10 for right. That seems like a lot, right, though. Let's try 6, 8. See where that gets us. And then we want to add that to this. Okay, so for each player, we add a logo, then we add a label. We're going to loop over all 5 players, add 5 logos if that actually works, plus 5 labels. If everything else just continues to work, then it should do what we want, roughly. No dice on the actually having something happen. Incompatible MPY file. Probably that means display text is out of date. Because that's the thing we added with this one. I mean, we did the loop, we did a bunch of stuff, but the display text is the only new library, really, that we added. Let's go circup. I don't know if I have the right circup. No circup at all, in fact. I think that scaling doesn't work with linear layout. Okay. Well, the good news is that the multiple tile grids with one on this bitmap is working. That part's good. It is stacking the logo on top of the text and then cutting off it's not using the width of the it's not using, you know what I think the problem is? It's probably accessing width, but for tile grids, width is in tiles and not pixels. Whenever I get that on 9 alpha, I use the Pi library. I think that we are back around to having MPY working again. Thin Man posted this. That looks pretty sweet. Got like a countdown timer or something going on there with a ring of LEDs. Looks like a 4x 7 segment and then 2 4x 14 segments there on the bottom. Set 18, so it's probably a clock. I like that little happy moon on there as well. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Thanks for sharing. I don't know if you're watching, but that's pretty cool. Okay, I think when we add content, what happens? We're enumerating the content list. We are saying if it does not have anchor point, which tile grid does not. If it's vertical, which it's not. Content.x equals previous content end. Previous content end equals content.x plus content.width. We need to not be using width right here. The problem is tilegrid.width is in tiles, not pixels, I think. This is I would call this a hypothesis right now, not a thing to be taken as fact, but. What? Tile grid. Width of the tile grid in tiles. We want in pixels, which means we need to multiply it by the tile width. In our case, we actually just want the tile width because our tile grid is 1 by 1. But if we wanted this to work, generally speaking, we would need to multiply it. So what we're going to say actually is if type content, no, let's use hasAdder. If not hasAdder content tile width. So if it does not have tile width, then just do it how it used to do it. If it does, then we want content.x plus content.width times tile width. So we need to multiply the number of tiles by the number of pixels in each tile. Okay, now we're looking good. So some things that are not great still. The text is probably too small. The text is at the top instead of being centered horizontally, which is what I wanted. And there's like literally no margin between the text and the logo, which is not ideal. We could just make this bigger. I mean, we could. It would take up extra RAM just filling it with black pixels and a bitmap. I mean, ultimately, it's going to take up RAM filling it with black pixels somewhere, no matter what. Unless, wait. Does linear layout have padding or something? Can we, like, padding? Yeah, okay. Padding. Padding is, let's call it 4. I don't know, it's gonna double though, I think, right? Is it gonna double? Oh, that didn't work anyway. Oh, it did, it's only on the right, so it's not gonna double. Okay. So if it worked on the left also, I think it would be pretty good. What happens to padding after we pass it in? Padding gets put on padding. Are we supposed to add the padding here, maybe? Yeah. This is adding padding to the height. So basically our tile grid is not, so what's happening is our tile grid is not getting padding, but our labels are, because our labels don't have a tile width like this. Therefore, they're not using the new logic, but this logic doesn't have padding either. So because the labels actually use anchor point though, and it has padding right here. Well, that's vertical. Has padding right here. It tries to handle scale, actually. Maybe scale could work. Maybe I jumped the gun on scale. Okay. Previous content end. Yeah, we just need to add padding to this. Self.padding. Space before and after. Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah, we could just put spaces in the string. Okay. Yeah, the jittery is totally the camera. It's honestly, it's, ooh, at the end we just kind of snapped there, huh? What happened to there? Or is it restarting? What's happening? When do we print all those? That's, oh, that's inside a layout here. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to maybe debug the scroll logic. I don't know if it's making it to the end properly or what's going on with that, but kind of just blinks back at some point. I maybe shouldn't have gone with the for loop out of the gate, but that's all right. I think it's still probably something is wrong with our width. Like, this probably doesn't calculate properly. Oh, here we actually are taking into account tile width, so that's good. You know what it's not taking into account is the padding. Not taking into account the padding. Probably we should probably move this function into linear layout, and then it can take into account for the padding. Honestly, though, another part of our problem is that yeah, actually a big part of our problem is that the labels are not tile grids. This is going to be false for label. Bitmap label, but whatever. Which is just going to return zeros. So it's not counting the width of the labels. Does label just have a width property? I mean, bitmap label is backed by bitmap, which has a width. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to need to solve this part, whether we move it into linear layout or not. So if it's a tile grid, do it this way. If it's not a tile grid, then it's not going to have tile width. So let's get rid of this. This will get us pretty close. With just this change, I think we should get all the way to where only the padding is what is going to be messed up now. Whereas before, I think it was the padding and the width of all the labels combined. Yeah, there we go. Honestly, we don't even need to mess with the padding. That looks fine. That's exactly what I want, is it to scroll all the way off the left and then restart all the way on the right, like in the next frame, pretty much. Like right after it's gone from the left, we want it to start appearing on the right, which is exactly what it does. Yeah, okay. Let's figure out how to get our labels into the middle and bigger. Let's see if scale, what does scale do? Scale 4 would have been way too big, actually, so I guess it's a good thing that didn't work. Or that I changed it before. Let's try scale 2, see where that gets us. Oh, okay. Yeah, scale works fine. And that's probably what we want right there. 3 might be too big, honestly. Yeah, maybe if we pull the Y back up, but I mean... Can we actually even manipulate the Y? Is this, like, actually doing anything? I'm not convinced that's actually doing anything. Maybe that did something. Did that do something? So now the baseline actually matches with the logo, which is not a bad look. Oh, but the Y goes under the baseline. Yeah, we can't do that. No, it's not moving. That's not actually moving. Yeah. And we're really close on the top, honestly. The top of the eye looks like the tallest character, I think. The top, oop, I don't know why we reset there. The top of the eye, I think, might be the tallest character. And it's already pretty close to the top of the logo. It's like only 3 pixels, I think, away. So we can't, or it's actually even closer. It's 1 pixel away from the top of the logo, and it's 3 pixels away from the top of the display altogether. So we only have 3 pixels that we could go up, which is not going to be enough to get us the rest of the Y visible, I think. So I think we do want scale 2. But then I would like to push it down some, because now it feels weighted to the top, right? The other thing is I think scale might break the scrolling. Like, we might reset early again. Yeah, see, it reset early. Okay, so another avenue we could try here is, instead of messing with the scale, which is breaking this pretty much. Basically, this would need to multiply by the scale. Or not. Valid syntax. Did I leave half a code somewhere? Oh, yeah. See that one too. So right now what we're looking for is to see if it resets early or not. I might bump it up to the 1 faster again also. I think we could go faster. Especially the long name. Gumayushi is like very long. I think going faster will be probably good. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're back to resetting properly. Okay, and now though I want to push the text down, but the problem is our Y is not doing anything, right? This isn't having any effect. Or, I mean, I'm sure it's having an effect, but then getting overwritten by something else. I can't say as though I know why, though, right? Because here... So else, this is horizontal. We're setting the X. We're setting the previous content end based on whether or not it was a tile grid or something else. Honestly, we probably should be adding the padding right here, too. Right? I feel like we should probably be adding the padding here, but that's a different problem, so let's not conflate here. Anchor. Yeah, anchor, I mean, that's the way that I would ordinarily solve this, but I think the layout, I think the linear layout is going to break the anchoring, right? See here, anchor. So this, in fact, this is probably what's happening. So we have else. So this is our horizontal. So it's going, the anchored position is previous content end 0. We don't want that. Old or original anchored pause Y. We set it back to what it was. None type isn't subscriptable. Okay, what if we just try content.y? I mean, I don't know where it's at. My guess is it's down here somewhere, but... Anyway, the problem is inside CodePy, we can't just anchor it to the center. I mean, we can, but then linear layout here is just going to undo it. Yeah, I need to... Actually sure why that didn't work, honestly. I feel like this should work. That's not the right thing, is it? Okay. So I don't know why I don't really get exactly what's happening, but effectively, it's each time we call layout, it's changing it further. It seems like we're ending up on 0, which should be visible, but isn't. So I don't know where they're actually going. But wherever it is, it's not. Oh, there's a little bit right there. Oh. Oh, hey, Carria. Okay, basically though, it's calling layout multiple times, and then that is continuing to push it further and further down. Which is not what we want. Let's say if it has an anchor position, then get it, the Y value of it. Else, if it doesn't, then use 0. Okay. Let's make sure they're all visible. And then I think maybe now if we scoot it down in CodePy, I think it will keep it. But we'll have to see in a second. Yeah, but it's gonna overwrite it. Yes, like that is 100% exactly what I would do in every other situation. But the problem is this is gonna overwrite it right here. So we can't. I mean, I could do it here, but I don't want a hard code linear layout to be, vertically centered. What I want to do is inside CodePy, tell it I want it to be vertically centered, and then it's just because of the way this is working, it will overwrite anything I do in CodePy. Well, it did before. Now, hopefully, I think we might be able to be okay now, I think. No, it's still not working. Oh. Those are still changing all weird. Why is it like that? I don't understand why it's like that. Oh, that is so tempting to just leave it like this, but that is so the wrong way to do this. I don't understand why that doesn't work. Maybe we really need to do an anchor point and an anchor position instead of a Y. I don't really think that that is the case, but at this point I don't really know what the problem is, so it's worth trying anything. Anchor point. I mean, I'm just gonna, so because here's the thing too, like we're gonna set the X. I don't know if that's gonna mess up the linear layout. And I guess it's gonna change it after the fact. This is the wrong syntax. Yeah, we don't have... We have display? We do have display, okay. Yeah. Now it's gone. I don't know why it's gone. That doesn't make any sense either. Now it's at 32. Okay. Okay. We need to do this also. Then maybe it will work after this, with the anchoring even as well. Because our anchor point of 0.5 is not coming through, which then means our 32 pixels is the top of our thing instead of the middle, which is just pushing it all the way off the display. Close. Now I think maybe, now I don't know what the problem is. Now it feels like the problem is that scale and anchor point don't work correctly together, maybe? No, that's still messed up even without the scale. Nice. I ran out of Rickrolled unexpected making the other day. Interactive stuff's pretty great. Gotta drive his tank from YouTube. Gotta drive his tank from a YouTube comment with commands. Nice. What did this do? Does this do anything? Not doing anything. Let's just do 0, 0. Okay, that's pretty much what I want. It would be nice to be able to use anchors and be like, you know, go to 50% of the height, but we can hard code a pixel and it is the center, then I'm pretty happy with it. Let's chunk down the padding just a hair. It's actually kind of a lot, but it's too much. It's too much. Okay. Actually the padding is still not working on the left. Of the labels. Or another way to say that is the padding is not working on the right of the logos. I think it's because of this part, which I said earlier, right? It must be this. Nope, that didn't fix it. Oh, why though? We live stream so he's not getting annoyed by the chat. Added MQTT support for Whopper. Maybe controlled from the live chat as well. WOPR. One thing I do want is we should put one more logo at the end. This is weird how we're checking for bounding box and then using scale. That doesn't make sense to me. But it does seem like it should have the padding, so I don't know why. Well, okay, but the padding, so this is when we have anchor point, which is for the labels. And that's working because to the right of the label, so the previous content end, is having the padding at the end of the label correctly. So it's this one though. And we didn't used to have this, but I put it. And then we do have this previous content end. It's set here. So why doesn't it have the padding? Looks good to me. Is this for an example or library as to why you don't want to hard code it to the center? I mean, like, are you asking, like, why don't I want to hard code it with the pixels like we have it now? Why would I prefer to hard code it with, like, 0.5 of the display height? Just because it makes it more... If I change it to a different screen, it will still work, basically. With minimal other changes, I guess. The size of the stuff might need to change potentially as well, but... I don't know, it just feels weird to have... It feels bad to me to have kind of, like, magic pixels of... Just put it this many pixels away instead of like anchor it to the center or something like that. And then I would not call it for an example or a library necessarily. Honestly, it's just a fun project just because the finals are tonight and I'm hyped up for it. I'm ready to watch it tomorrow morning, and I just wanted to express my hypedness in a little fan sign thing. They have a lot of these. So the finals is in Korea, and they actually have, it seems like a pretty big part of at least esports culture over there. I don't know about wider sports culture, but a lot of the fans have signs like this. And lots of posters and stuff as well, too, but lots of them do the scrolling stuff. Gosh, I do not know why we're not getting padding on the right of the... On the right of the logos, like we totally should be, right? Because we're saying we're setting the X of the logo to the previous content end, which came... It was measured when we added the label, and that was correct. So that worked fine, but then we added our X plus our width times our tile width, our width in pixels, plus our padding. That should be the width in pixels of the logo plus the 2 pixels of padding, which then means when we come back around to here, we should have that 2 pixel gap. What esports? League of Legends. Don't follow esports, just football. I would say I still keep an eye on the local football team, but I don't necessarily care about football as much as I did in the past. And I would say right now I care about League as a sport. I think it's interesting. It's fascinating to watch a sport that is also a program, honestly. As a developer, as a programmer, it's just fascinating to think about an entire sports league built around a program. Yeah, I'm really at a loss on the padding here. I mean, I guess we could multiply it by 2. I mean, that seems like not the right answer, but I mean, are we missing it somehow? Are we off by 1 somehow in a way that's making it off by a multiple? I mean, I don't If that's the case, I don't see it. But I mean, we can always try it, I guess. Yeah, now it's there. So, okay, hold on. Let me, let's get it to stop so we can actually see what's happening. Okay, that was not nearly enough frames. Okay, now I think the problem is that it doesn't scroll every time. Ah, that's annoying. We're just gonna have to like... Yeah. I mean, that's an order of magnitude less, right? We got, so 5 6s. What if we try 5 5s? Okay. There are 4 pixels between those right now, which looks pretty good to my eye. Really? That does not make any sense to me. Oh, I did too many. Okay. There are also 4 pixels there, which again looks good to my eye. I think we're going to call it good on that. I don't know why that ×2 is there. I don't think that really makes sense, but also we're having 4 instead of 2, even though I set it to 2. Is that right? Yeah, I set it to 2. We're actually having 4. You know, not ideal, but I think the 4 looks good. Get rid of this jankiness here. It was just a weird way to get it to be able to stop partway through. Used to play Quake, Counter-Strike, TF2, Data Feet, Call of Duty, StarCraft, other games competitively in amateur leagues, semi-pro with pool money. Nice. I would say of those games, I played TF2 and Counter-Strike. Well, I played Counter-Strike before TF2, I guess. Played Counter-Strike like way a long time ago when I was in high school. And then TF2 I played later on after high school. I never played the rest of those, I don't think. I mean, like maybe once or twice here or there, but never like much. No Quake for me, no Day of Defeat. Didn't get into Call of Duty. I played Warcraft 3. I never did get into StarCraft. I tried a couple of times, but never actually made it too far into it. Semi-pro pool money. Mine was, I played like Magic the Gathering tournaments would have been my kind of analogy to that, with pools for money and stuff. I've never done it in video games though for money, kind of pools or tournaments or anything like that. Font scaled pad 2, it might be. Yeah, that might be the case. I'm perplexed as to why it would be, like, if it were the case that the scale of the font were also affecting the padding, my thought is that it should only affect the padding that is on the right of the label, not the padding that is on the right of the logo. Like, in my mind, I think that's how it would be if the scale of the label was factoring in, because the logo is at scale 1. The logo's at regular scale, and the padding logic is trying to only add padding to the right. So it's basically adding padding to the right of everything, which means at the beginning there is no padding on the left. And so if that was affecting it to the right of there, I'd expect it to be doubled, but then not to the right of the logo. Let's add that extra logo at the end. Whoops. So that one's going to go after the loop. So that'll give us a logo after Carria. Too many cheaters ruined it. Played Minecraft cheaters too. Yeah. That is the problem with competition around a program, I guess. Is like programs run on computers. Computers are manipulatable. If you want to play. I mean, I think at the highest levels of like pro, I don't think cheating is probably a problem. Maybe corruption. Like there have been people that have been banned because of gambling tie-ins and stuff, like potentially, you know, maybe throwing games in order to fulfill gambling odds or whatever. There's that kind of stuff, but I don't think cheating is too big of a problem on the actual stage and stuff, because they have the computers pretty well locked down, I assume. It crossed my mind though at one point, like it would be a huge scandal if they ever found out anything crazy was going on, like if one team was trying to like hack into the other team's set of computers to try to get extra information early or something crazy like that. Like I've never heard of anything like that going down, but that would be a crazy occurrence. I'm sure that would be bad news bears for the sport overall. It's nice to watch sports you're not participating in, so no skin in the game. Yeah. I would say, I still am to an extent. I used to be a much bigger fan also of fights, like MMA fights. I don't catch them as much anymore. I do still have a couple of buddies that I'm good friends with that I'll watch some fights with every now and then and enjoy them. But I used to be I was watching like almost all the MMA fights that were happening at certain points in my life. And I wanted to trade out that for a different sport, and League was the sport that I ended up landing on, which is nice because like nobody gets physically hurt, which is cool, but it's also just like not quite as many shady people around the sport, and it's just, I don't know, it's way different in so many ways, right? But still tactically interesting. There's so many different variations of how different teams kind of match up against each other, strengths and weaknesses and all. Like it provides a similar kind of sport to think about on a tactics level, which is really where my head's at when I watch it. And that is the same for fighting too. So I think I kind of get the same sort of thing out of both of them in a way. The analysis of the tactics. Okay, I'm thinking this is pretty good. Okay, let's double check all the spelling also though. Pretty sure that's right for Gumayushi, but that's one of the ones I'm not quite as sure on. Nope, I was wrong. There's no H. Guma Yusi. No H. My mistake. Let's check Carria too. I could be wrong on the IE there. Which way did I do it? I did EI. Okay, yeah. Oh no, but it's KE. I got that wrong too. KER. Not good with my T1 player spelling trivia, turns out. I should be right on Zeus and Owner, I'm pretty sure, right? Those are pretty easy. Okay. Alright, let's also kick the speed. Just a tad. It's like way overkill, but one thing that might be kind of nice is to make it not do all that flashing right at the beginning there. I think that's probably because it's printing a bunch of stuff out before it sets the root group What if we take this and bring it way up to the beginning? Doesn't work because we don't have display. What if we take this and bring it up to right after we create the display? Is that where it was? That might have been where it was. Yeah, that didn't really help. Alright, that's fine. I don't really care what it looks like in the milliseconds after it begins running anyway. The idea with this is you would just have it running, it would kind of keep running, so... Hey, do not bite my leg. Would be difficult to get back to the red one from here, wouldn't it? How's it going? What you doing? Alan Raymond over on YouTube says, it's going pretty good, first of all. How about you? Hope the same for you. Hope you're having a nice day. We are making a scrolling fan sign for the League of Legends World Championship, which is occurring tonight, overnight. In my time zone, it's overnight. It's like prime time where it's at, but it's in Korea, so it's overnight in my time zone. And I'm hyped up for it. And I am on Team T1, and so we are making a scrolling fan sign that we will pretend like we would hold up if we were at the venue, which we are not because it's on a different continent. And a lot of time zones away. But I'm still hyped for it nonetheless, so we're making a nice little scrolling fan sign here to convey the level of hyped that I am. And we're actually pretty close to done. I will be probably wrapping it up pretty soon, but the only other, oh my, what is going on here? Okay, please, okay, that's GIMP. Okay, we're not even in. Just clicked. Okay. The only other thing that I actually mentioned anywhere along the way that I said would be kind of cool is if we could have red for the logo also, I think. I don't think I want all the logos red though. But maybe we could sprinkle, maybe we could like alternate logos. I think that'd be pretty cool looking if we had like some red and some white every other one or something. Let's try to see what that looks like. I can't promise I'll like it, but it will be tricky though to get from where we're at here to a red one. I think what I'm gonna do is start over on the SVG. Same, hyped T1 fan also. Good luck on the code for the logo, maybe red. Have fun. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, hope you enjoy the show. Good luck for our boys on T1. All right, we'll keep that 28, and then we'll go. Okay, so one part that's tricky is in order to get it to white, I did invert, which was the opposite of black, obviously. That's not the case for red, so need to figure out how we're going to get it to red. We need to go colorize? Isn't that a thing? Colorize? Really? Colorize. It is a thing, actually. I don't know if that's gonna work. Gonna work? Like a more, yeah, it's like a cherry red almost. Somewhere right in there, I think. That did not work at all. I don't even know. That didn't seem to do anything. Do I need to select first? I don't think. Let me just do that. No, it didn't do anything. Okay. that doesn't work either. It does not work either. Okay, BRB. I gotta run to the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay. I think, what if we invert it first and then try colorize or hue shift or whatever? I think maybe we might have better luck with one of these. No. Not at all. Okay. Okay. Yep. Boy. How do I GIMP plus convert white to color? Yeah. Yep. Add a layer, bucket fill with color. Somewhat darker than what you're aiming for. Set to color mode. Select the original layer and use levels, dragging the middle handle to the right to darken the color. Okay, sounds like a lot, but I guess we'll try it. Add a layer, bucket fill with color. Whoa. Add a layer, bucket fill with color, so we want red. We might as well. We could take the real red, right? You think it's solid red? Whoops, I don't want link. Okay. What? This? Copy drop, that one, and then it is not solid red. Close, but not quite. Okay, so then we'll take that red. We'll go, it said darker than we're aiming for. Say darker than we're aiming for. Basically color blending with the background. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna kind of blend the two, blend this color layer with the front one using one of these special modes. Somewhat darker than what you're aiming for. So should we nudge it just a hair darker? Trunk it just down by 2 maybe. See what that does for us. So we have our new layer. We're gonna bucket fill. Doesn't say which order, if the new one should be on top or bottom. So, oh, it does say set to color mode. What does that mean? Mode normal. Whoops, color. Ooh. There's no color. HSL color? There's color erase. Ugh. So like, I'm sure one or more of these do like probably exactly what I want, but I don't. I have no idea how to use them really. Overlay, difference. Mode color. There is no mode color. Why does this stick in front? Set to color mode. This is from 2017. Color mode. Levels tool. Which layer is on top? Which layer should be in color mode? I think I got it. The layer filled with the single layer is on top. I think it means single color. With the layer mode. Oh, okay, maybe this is not supposed to be this. It's mode of this. That's the same list. Just color erase. Let's use color erase maybe. Select the original layer, use levels. What is levels? Levels tool. Colors levels. Boy, this is a lot just to paint some white into red. Maybe I should have just tried with like a paintbrush or something. Where's colorize? I thought colorize should be able to do this. Select the original layer. Use layers. Dragging the middle handle to the right to darken the color. I don't know. I mean, it's not working at all anyway, right? Because it's not red, so I think maybe this shouldn't be color erase. But there is no mode color, so HLSL color. Input levels. No, this doesn't do anything. Color mode overlay. Ah. Hard light. It's pretty good. Yeah, that we can work with. In fact, I mean, that's pretty much what we want. Nice. Thank you for the inspiration to try some more things. It ended up, I think, and the thing too is, I think the way I'm reading this is like there's lines every now and then. And the way I'm reading it is the top one is kind of like the category. So like overlay is kind of a category for all of these, it seems like. Okay. And then I think it's a little bit bright or like pastel or something, but I think maybe once we give it this, it's going to help some. That is weird. There is still no black in that. Let's go like new layer black. So we know that we need to merge this with black before we can palletize it. Scared the heck out of me for a second. Oh, okay, that's making that weird. Maybe we should not do this yet. Maybe we should just merge this down so that we have that kind of, yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. That's good. Now we go, how far off are we? F258 versus, whoops, I think I clicked twice. EB12C. Are just a hair, like kind of bright a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and really micromanage the color to the exact. I am gonna drop the darkness just a tad. Yeah, I like it like that. Okay. Now we can go to mode indexed. Hold on. Okay, yep. We need to merge down again. Merge down, then mode indexed. There we go. Okay, now we can export T1 logo, red, bitmap. Yep. Leave a color? Level? Is that maybe level color? Levels? This thing was saying the levels. I don't know how to use it though, if I'm honest. I don't get why it shows, why it never changed to red there. I'm not sure what this one, how this works really. You can use hue and saturation. Yep, that was probably from a little bit ago. I could still darken it a tad. I want to see it on the thing too. The other thing is like our LEDs. It doesn't have perfect precision on. Oh, you know what? We're gonna want this. We're gonna want this stripe in here. Actually, I already know because we did this last time, right? Yeah. Let me do this before we go. Actually, let's do maybe this. A little bit more there and a little bit more here. We already did these on the white one. Yeah. Okay. Now let's export that again, actually, bitmap. And then copy it to the device. 2.7 should be the same. Beauty of indexed bitmaps. That's the same. And then we want to, like, every other one, let's initialize the other one. So I do need a second on this bitmap now. Let's go. Hold on. Let's not do that yet. Let's make one first. Let's go, what is it? F6, I think, shift, like, yeah, there we go. White, and then this, and then red, and then red. And then we want every other one. The easiest way I know how to get that is for index and player in enumerate players, and then if index mod 2 equals 0. Doesn't matter, actually. I don't know. Does that matter? I don't know if that will like being outside the if statement or not. Yeah, it looks like actually PyCharm doesn't like it. Let's put it in. And then else we do same thing but red. Okay, that's very pink. So the outer edges of the red look, oh, because the last one I hard coded. Two whites, two reds, three whites, four whites. I guess we should make the last one red. Whoops. Don't we have an odd number? No, we have an even number because we added 1 before every name, which is 5, and then we added the last one at the end. That's so good. Nice, thank you. I think the level color is to darken it. I gotcha. Let's see. We can, I mean, honestly, the red, like, the outline of the red ones is basically the right color of red, but the inside is, like, pink. So the dark parts, actually, yeah, the dark parts worked fine. So, yeah, I guess we do just figure out how to darken it a bit. So does it preview? So that's, like, washing it out. Okay, to the right, I see there. Is okay, yeah, that's kind of making the inside match with the. Let's try something down there. So we want to go back. We'll just make v2. Oops, wait, this is on the device. Oops. Still doing it. It might be worth just trying to get to full red. Because the other thing is the pixels aren't perfect either. The color resolution of the pixels is not full resolution. I think it's only, I don't know how many colors it is. 155 colors, maybe? Look at it straight on also. It's totally pink in the middle. Okay. I think we want to get to just solid red if we can. How do we get to a more solid red from here? Or do we need to go backwards some? What does it look like if this is inverted? Okay, what does that look like on the device? So merge, then background. Black, actually, though. Oops. The same thing as last time. We need to merge first. I guess inverting that one is also probably the difference between using like lighten only and darken only or whatever. Or I was on hard light, maybe. Was I on hard light? I don't actually remember. I think it was hard light. Maybe soft light would be the opposite. Then not save v3. What? Oh, maybe I was in the wrong one. Yeah. Oh, but the line. Shoot, I knew that line. I should have done that. That's fine. That's better, though. I like the red a lot better. Okay, so we'll go eyedropper this line right here. And this one down here, too. Although this one's maybe not as bad. Let me see it again. No, yeah, we want to do that one, too. I'm just going to overwrite v3 because it's not really a v4. Oops. Pasted instead of copying. There we go. Maybe a little bit on the left side of the T's vertical bar also, actually. Like only a few pixels, only like right in here. Be this, that one a little bit more, and that one a little bit in here, maybe. This I also don't really consider a V4. Nice. Yeah, I like that better. Oop. I don't know why it reset. Probably my computer that did that, though. Sweet. All right, that is awesome. We could maybe do a tiny bit of touch-up. Now that I've done it in the red one, I almost kind of want to go back and do a little bit of that touch-up in the white one, but I don't think I'm going to do it right this minute. I'm going to leave it as is for now, but that's pretty sweet. I'm pretty stoked about that. Let me catch up over here as well. Now okay, that was from before. I figured it'd be pink. Use hue and saturation to make it a brighter red, saturation to make it darker. It looks good. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good for now. We could, like, if we wanted to take it further, we could maybe experiment with changing the color of the text. Right now, all the text is white. Maybe we should make Faker red by himself. Like, maybe making Faker stand out probably is a good call. Then we will, though, have red Faker into red T1 logo, which will upset our back and forthness a little bit, but that's all right. I think it's fine. It's worthwhile. The tricky part is we don't have, since we did a for loop, we actually don't have a super duper easy way to do this. Let's go if player is Faker, color, label. T1 feels a little too big, but okay if it's worth scaling. We could try bumping it down a bit. I do have it vectorized, so it would be easy-ish to do. It'll be a bunch of steps, but not like none of them are particularly difficult. It is pretty big though. I am with you. Turn out a little bit bigger than I want. Maybe if we chunked it down by another, like, there are 4 or 6 or 8 pixels total. So a couple of pixels on each side, basically. I think I do still want it to be a tad bigger than the text. The color goes red. Red, actually, though. Equals white. Be brighter red for Faker. Yeah, let's see. I think this one, it should maybe end up brighter, I think. Which is actually a good point. I hadn't thought about the fact it is going to be a tad different than the label, probably. Okay. Let's do label color here. That does. It looks pretty close to the same. That might be just what we get for... Let me watch it. Let me look at it with the naked eye too, because I don't trust the camera all the way. That may be, though, us landing on the same shade of red. Yeah, it's totally the same. It's us landing on the same shade of red because of the actual pixels. There's not too many shades of red they have. We'd have to, if we wanted to land on a different, well, this is the brightest red it can make. So if we wanted to land on a different red for the logo, we would actually need to make the logo darker, probably by a decent chunk. Is that yeah, darker. We would need to go a little darker. It's tricky though because of the way that the actual display, because like right now we actually are on two different colors. Like this in literal pixels inside the file is a darker red. Like we have bright to dark there. Not a huge difference, but there is a difference. But our actual display, I think the way it's set up, it's maybe not, it's ultimately kind of not really rendering the difference between those two. Good sharing. I'm going to take a nap while it's raining. Wait for 7-hour print to finish. Yep, take it easy, DJ Devin. Hope you have a nice day. I'll catch you next time. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to leave it like that for now. I may later on chunk the scale down a little bit and play with the colors a little bit more if I want to try to change the different reds or something, but I'm pretty stoked about it for right now, so I'm going to leave it there. I will head out. Thanks for hanging out for a bit, Alan, over on YouTube. It was cool to see another fan. It's kind of a collision of my worlds a little bit. I don't really typically do too much League-related stuff on stream, but I was hyped for this, so I wanted to kind of find a way to tie it into CircuitPython, which is what I normally work on, which is what this device is. Yep, logo darker. Okay. I'll maybe tinker with it a bit later. But anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the show tomorrow. Hope you have a nice time watching it. Thanks to everybody else who is watching. I will be back for Deep Dive next week on Friday, and then I should be back. Yeah, I should be back also Saturday next week for the stream as well. So I will see you all then. Hope everybody has a good day and rest of your weekend and all that stuff. Go T1, and yeah, see you later.